get in my way now.
Welcome back to the GSTL. And right now, NS Hosa is in a lead against LGIM with an interesting player choice, sending out True. He was not able to take out the Codes champion Jakji.
And now we have the next LGIM player, and this time it's for real.
Yeah, this time it is super for real.
As mentioned earlier, guys, playtime is over. The lolcats are here, and things just got serious. We have Seed. Seed against Jakji, the battle of the champions.
Yeah, man, he is in your booth, building his workers.
He definitely is.
And he's ready, man. This guy is a Codes champion. Both of these guys actually Codes champions, a one-time champion, so even results in that regard. But Seed just looking so dominant outside of the GSL, still in Codes, still doing well, whereas Jakji has kind of fallen out a little bit. And this is an era of Protoss dominance, especially in PvT. Really difficult for Terrans to win.
The thing is just that Seed is so great in this matchup lately, and I am so curious, really curious, if Jakji is able to take another win. If he is able to take this victory, then NS Hosa would be at 4 points against LGIM's 2. But now the match is about to start. The map is going to be Cloud Kingdom. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for LGIM Seed versus NS Hosa Jakji here at the GSTL. Starting at the bottom left in red is our Terran player. He was able to take down first MVP and True. Now he's up against his fourth opponent. Is the Terran player able to take another win for his team? This is
NS Hosa Jakji.
He's strong today and once again coming through for NS Hosa.
Yep.
They need him.
They really do. He's up against another Codes champion last season. Cross player from LGIM. He is
LGIM Seed.
He made a huge splash in his first Team League performance using Hallucination to trick his opponent, taking a hidden expansion. It's a map that hardly anyone will ever forget.
A player with a great mindset, really down to earth despite his win in the last GSL season. And one of the things that we mentioned earlier and that I want to point out again is that he is great against Terran these days. I actually looked at his match history in major tournaments and I couldn't find a single loss against Terran starting in at the end of May. I think it was the last time that he actually lost a match. Just going a little bit through his match history with you guys, he was able to take down Pold with a 2-0. He won against Gumiho with 2-1, took down Bjorn in a best of 5. He was able to defeat Tasia several times and also took down Jean. So this guy is so strong right now. His last loss against Terran is a month ago, at least when it comes down to the major tournaments. Will Jakji finally be able to kind of defeat Seed in this matchup and break the curse of the LGIM Protoss, or is Seed once again successful in this matchup?
That's what everyone is waiting to find out. And as he is denied scouting, Seed responds with a second gas. Will likely go for a fast robo here. You never know what Jakji is going to pull. He may actually be doing some sort of tech build. He could even be going for Marauder Hellion again on this map. It's quite a good map for that with how the ramp works and how there's multiple entrances. So this is something he's going to have to be careful about. He's got a lot of chrono energy on his Nexus as well.
Yeah.
He can use that on a lot of different things.
He has a lot of chrono energy saved up. He did not use it for a lot for his probes so far. So what exactly is the plan of Seed here? He's starting things off with, as soon as he's done with actually the chrono boost on not only his gateway but also on his
Stalker.
Yeah, exactly, the Stalker immediately will give him the chance to poke out a little bit.
Yeah,
and
no Zealot for him, so...
Exactly, he skipped the Zealot.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to force his way in to find out if the natural has been taken. There's no way for him to do so. Jakji following up with the second barracks here. No gases just yet, will likely take him soon, unless he wants to follow up with 4 barracks pressure. Going up to 3 here. Will we see the 4th?
No gas just yet, no refinery taken. He followed. There is refinery in the gas taken for Jakji right now. But more important, what exactly is Seed going to do? He's moving out and probably taking his Nexus right away. There we go. Nexus after one gate. What will he do now? Starting straight with the robotics or adding a little bit safer 2 gateways before he goes into the turbo attack?
And, you know, something to consider with this is that with the double gas, this opening delays his Nexus slightly, but he has a lot of gas banked up, which means he can make several sentries. He can also tech very quickly after this as well. We'll see what sort of choices he wants to make. What is really popular right now, we've seen Seed do this in the past, is the one Colossus fake into Templar Archives. Nice scout here by Jakji. He will actually see the Nexus, and he forces a force field out actually to block the SCV out of the main.
Yeah, well done. Really forced the force field out. He he's not really comfortable with the SCV sneaking in and seeing exactly what he's going to do here, so he wants to make sure. Needs to sacrifice the energy for the force field, and has double gateway now in his main base in addition to the first one that he started with. So 3 gates in total. Will most likely drop the robotics very soon so that he has an observer and get some scouting information about what's going on in the main base of his opponent. Because right now, he doesn't have a lot of information about what's going on.
Yeah, he's very much in the dark. And what's funny about that as a Pro player is if you make the choice to get the observer to see what your opponent is doing, oftentimes if your opponent does a certain attack, then that can kill you because you went for the robotics, so you're very weak in that state. But if you go for gateways to be safe on the ground, then your opponent goes for some sort of build, then you're not safe in another way. So it's kind of ironic how that can be, but he is going to add his robo pretty soon, I expect. There it is.
There it is. And at the same time, we already have an engineering bay for Jakji who wants to play a really upgrade-heavy match here. He started with the engineering bay a lot faster than most tournament players will do. The +1 attack upgrade has now been started. And this will give him quite a significant advantage over Seed when he comes down to the upgrades. At some point, of course, there's always the option for the Protoss player to add the double forge and then start with his upgrades and chrono boost them. That might be something that we're gonna see quite soon. But now we have him on 2 bases with the robotics tech as mentioned. He wants this observer. Has to be careful though, because there's already the first missile turret at the expansion of Jakji, so if he just rallies the observer across the map, he might find himself flying right into it.
Yeah, very true. Also, I want to point out that Seed has, as Legend just showed, 2 pylons, one to the north and one to the east. These are going to allow him to spot any potential drops or banshees he may face, and there's the robotic support bay, of course, first, before the gas is at the natural. Just wants to be able to get that first Colossus out, poke around against any attacks he faces, hold the 3rd base while he gets his double forges, and likely Templar Archives.
And Jakji is playing it pretty safe here. He added actually 2 bunkers instead of only 1. He wants to be sure that it doesn't matter what his opponent is going to do, that he can hold it. Of course, his scouting was denied earlier with the force field that we've seen, therefore he's a little bit cautious about what's going on. There could have been anything in the main base, and he was led to believe that there might be a huge attack coming this way, his way, so he built the double bunker, is now super safe against any kind of incoming attack, which also means that he focused a little bit more on his army and not that much on his economy. He finds himself, of course, in a disadvantage at the work account, but the 2 mules make up for it.
They do, and he's going to move out right now with only Marines. This is a really risky choice, and against the composition that Seed has built here, it's not going to be effective. He's going to be able to force field these units. If he splits them into 2 as he's done now and attacks 2 different angles, maybe he can get in there, but the first Colossus is about to come out.
Exactly. As soon as the Colossus is out, those Marines will be dead meat if he micros correctly. And we already seen that Seed just added his double forge, as we already talked about a little bit earlier. He wants to have these upgrades, and he's going for +1/+1 right now. And with the timing that we have, the early advantage of Jakji with his +1 attack upgrade will be negated by Seed fairness.
Very true. And the first Colossus, of course, is that kind of... I don't know if it's best to call it a fake, but it can scare Terran players, and also...
Nice.
Oh, wow, he's going to catch this.
Oh, this is so important right now. Brilliant. He takes it down. The drop play has been negated. Really important here. Jakji tries to hit a timing with Combat Shield, with the +1 attack upgrade. Just goes in and tries to do as much damage as possible, but Seed is able to intercept the first medivac, takes it down. 8 Marines die. That was so important for Seed here.
He just has so much vision on the map with the observer to the left, the pylons everywhere, just constantly being prepared. Obviously, a pylon can be taken out by a drops in such a fashion that it's spotted, but now he knows the drop is there. He's already got units in position at his natural, and he's switching into Templar Archives as predicted. Most players right now are actually doing this build in Korea, not going for Colossi-centric builds, going for Templar Archives instead. People really figuring out how to use those storms so well.
it was just so important. I mean, what Jakji just done was a really, really dangerous push. He pushed out with those Marines, and if you executed well, as Wolf already said earlier, if you use 2 groups and transfer 1 into the main base, attack at a different time, with a +1 attack upgrade, with your stim and with your combat shield, you can do so much damage with the right timing and with good positioning. But Seed shut everything down when he saw this drop. He killed the drop, and then suddenly Jakji was in a really weird position. He tried to drop again at the natural, was not able to pull it off. Great position now for Seed, and Jakji lost a lot of his momentum already.
Yeah, he really did. The only thing he's got going for him right now is that he has his third base a little bit faster than Seed. He is going to do a little bit of you just take out those units over there, just a little bit of pressure here, but the problem that he faces, the biggest problem, is the tech issue. He's got Charge, Storm, 2-2, all of these upgrades coming through at flying colors, really hitting those chronos, and Jakji's going to struggle to deal with this.
Here comes the drop now at the natural. Boom, the mothership, the dropship already gone. He wishes he had a mothership. No High Templar actually dies. He blocks the way with the probes and actually doesn't even lose anything at all. This was really well done. Jakji once again with an attack trying to pull it off, but Seed, he looks so dominant in this matchup.
He wants to keep Seed off his back a little bit while he has that command center up, and I like this drop play, but the problem is, as you said, Seed is just so careful. He's so clever with how he saves his High Templars, for example, and I'm really worried about what the next phase for Jakji is going to be, because he now needs to be on the map pressuring while he takes a 4th in the near future, but can he ever do that with Seed's amount of coverage right now? He's got so many photon cannons even up all over the place, a High Templar at every nexus. He's just ready for any sort of aggression. Then, once he has enough Zealots, he actually starts moving out on the map with Storm. The Ghost Academy just finished. He's got no ghosts on the map.
To me, it just feels like Seed is reading his opponents in this matchup like an open book.
Yeah, that's absolutely a great way to put it.
And here we go.
Yeah, he's going to charge through here.
He's charging in, and his upgrades are nearly done. He will be able to hit this timing with +2/+2. He has a great army, actually. He has an 82 army supply against 91, but with the Storms already in the mix, he can do so much damage if he's able to hit them. And now he transitions into the second robotics facility. He's getting range upgrade, and here come the upgrades. They come through with the perfect timing.
He just actually runs through those rocks like they're nothing, and these are the most awkward Vikings the world has ever seen. Not able to accomplish anything. These units are trapped on the ramp. That's a great place to storm, but the high ground units are a big problem here as he has no high ground vision. And Jakji actually taking a huge supply lead here, but his units are caught a little bit awkwardly back in the natural right now, but he's got to be careful. He's throwing away so many supply of Zealots here.
He has to be really careful, but now the third is open to him. He can attack, and he does.
He will storm them if he can catch them.
Oh my god, they are backed into a corner, and now they try to get out here. If he catches him with a storm,
oh my god. Now he can just leave, but he has lost a lot of units here. And Jakji actually is going to be pretty happy, I think, with how this situation went. Even with this storm, he can actually just run through and pick off a few more Zealots.
Yeah, but at the same time, those storms do damage, and the economy that Jakji just lost is quite significant. He actually lost 20 of his harvesters.
Army supply in Jakji's favor ever so slightly, but the upgrades are even. 2-2 to 2-2. Neither player starting +3. There's +3 now on the production tab just now. But the switch is the scariest part. Double Colossi coming out with 4 ghosts. That's the opposite situation that the Terran wants.
He already has 2 Colossi, and at this point in time, we only have 3 Vikings left, and the ghosts are now being built for Jakji. So these tech switches by Seed are really brilliant. A 4th base now being taken by the LGIM Protoss, and here comes Jakji. The NS Hosa player wants to turn on the heat a little bit, tries to dart in here and do some damage, but there are still ghosts in the mix, trying to just use their storms, and the 2 Colossi, they join. And now, wow, great!
These are sick. That Nexus is not even cancelled. He's even using Snipe here.
These EMPs were beautiful.
He just needed those Colossi there and then, and they weren't ready. They were not ready. They're walking across the natural right now. If he had those Colossi there, he can hold the Nexus. Now he's going to have to remake that. Jakji has not won this game by any means, but he has done a lot of damage. He's done what he needed to do to kind of grab onto this game and hold on to it again.
Those ghosts have to be careful. The Vikings still heading for the Colossi. 4 of them in total right now. +3/+3 for both of them on their way off. Obviously a little bit faster for Seed.
I'd like to see, I mean, Seed knows there's no 4th for Jakji just yet. I'd like to see him follow Rain's example a little bit and actually hold this fourth of his own a little bit more carefully. Because if he can do that and get this fourth up with the upgrade lead that he has, then he can start moving around. But right now, he's putting himself at risk because his fourth base is exposed, and Jagchi's always going to have the defender's advantage with so many ghosts out on the map, even having a decent amount of Vikings as well. This is scary moving out like this.
He scans and takes down the one Templar that he could actually see. But if Seed is able to drive a wedge between those two bases, then he will be in an awesome position to storm, but he's not able to really walk up the ramp. The rocks are not killed just yet. He uses the storms nonetheless, trying to bait Jagchi into the funnel point, but he's not able to pull it off.
Yeah, see, this is attacking like this is scary for Jagchi, but if he can fight with all those buildings of Starport, the command center, all blocking the Zealots out, you feel pretty comfortable against a Protoss army that fights that way, even if it has an upgrade advantage, which is now the case as 3-3 finishes. He's getting Warp Prism speed, and we may see Storm drops as well as just Templar hiding in those from the EMPs.
Both of them nearly lost the same amount of resources. It's just high-level play. They exchange EMPs and, of course, Storms as if it were punches. This is a great game already. Look at just all these upgrades for both of them. +3/+3 is done for Seed. It will be done in just a few seconds for Jagchi as well. And he's getting the +2 attack upgrade for his Vikings. He really wants to send those Colossi to hell as soon as possible to avoid the damage to his fiery army.
Yeah, these Colossi a little bit out of position. He's trying to poke with them aggressively. He is getting some hits off here. Oh, this is actually just such great positional play by both players. The Ghosts are close, and he gets some great EMPs. The Observers were a little bit far behind. He actually has to run now.
Another EMP hits home. He actually is able to snipe 2 of those High Templars. The Storm were not as good as they could have been. And now Seed is dropping in supply a little bit behind Jagchi. The Terran player, after the early game did not really go his way, is now looking at a really good position.
Look at the bank for Seed, though. That is what having that fourth base up so much earlier than Jagchi really has paid off for him. And what is that bank probably going to be sunk into? Zealots and High Templar going for Storm drops, going for Zealot run-bys, things like that when he's not maxed out where he can dump things in. That's why he got Warp Prism speed. That's why he's making a Warp Prism right now, because he knows these little things can actually just really utilize that bank that he has.
You're so right. Of course, Jagchi now so far defending really well, but the bank is the huge problem that the Terran player has to face. He's moving in on a tiny takedown some of those Colossi, and this was actually a really good snipe. At the same time, he moved into the Storm. Oh, nukes even for Jagchi now, whereas Seed is getting shield upgrades, he's getting Blink, he is getting his Warp Prism speed too. The Warp Prism is already on the map. This is a pretty cool game here.
It is pretty exciting, man. Getting Blink late is because of the way that Seed built his composition. But it was a problem for him with some of the stalkers he was using around the map, not able to use it as well as he would have liked. And now a factory actually denies a 5th base for Seed, and that's quite crucial here.
The rocks are finally gone, and here comes Seed once again charging in with the Zealots immediately. We have the Guardian Shield already up.
The Vikings are coming in from the side, though. He has to storm those, and he does. But the damage is still being done. A second storm goes down.
He needs more than that, Wolf. He needs definitely a lot more, but he does not have a lot of anti anymore.
No, he does not. And there's so many ghosts. That is 15 ghosts in that group. You can EMP so many times that I think the Protoss units might just disappear.
And now he still has the
nuke.
He's using it.
Oh, this is so positional right now.
This is brilliant. Seed cannot move into the nuke. Does he see it? He has to pull the probes away.
And he knows the nuke could be canceled at any time. And then the Nexus could be targeted down.
And the cannons are gone. The probes, they survive. But what a great positional game by Jagchi, who is now using EMPs everywhere. No shields, no energy at all on those Protoss units. And now Jagchi moves in, but the Storms, they are good. The High Templar were held in the back.
Oh man, the Vikings still remain alive, and all the Storms were used on Vikings rather than units. And now suddenly, Seed, not only has he not been able to take the 5th because of the factory, but now he finds himself stuck on 3 bases, whereas Jagchi is on 4. Jagchi playing this game so aggressively, never stopping the pressure. His ghost count is getting out of control. He's making 5 more ghosts. A bit of harassment here, though, at his base. He could be stormed.
And he does it. He storms the SCVs, and a little bit of a late reaction by Jagchi, losing a lot of them here. But at the same time, the 4th base is still going strong for Jagchi. The bank, though, once again in favor of Seed with 2,000 minerals nearly, and the same amount of gas. Now dropping a little bit as he uses another round of warp-ins. But this time he drives the wedge between the 2 bases.
And he's got those buildings destroyed. He decides not to stay, but hits a great storm on the Vikings, which is making it switch back into Colossi even more strong. But he lost so many Templar just there. He's going to lose his Archon as well.
If Seed continues like this, then the Ghosts will definitely need sunglasses. There are so many lightnings coming their way. They are blind by now.
Yeah, man.
It's actually not the damage. It's not the fear of being electrocuted. They just can't see anything anymore.
It's basically like looking at the surface of the sun, man, with all the storms coming down. Jockey remaking a lot of SCVs. His SCV count has been quite heavily hurt by these storm drops and all the harassment. He's down to 42, but making 5 SCVs at a time. But that's a lot of minerals he has to spend on that he doesn't want to. Look at his bank. It's non-existent. He's got 1,300 gas, but less than 100 minerals, so he's not quite able to remax as quickly as Seed. And if Seed takes one more engagement, that could be the nail in the coffin, as Jockey just cannot remax very quickly right now.
Seed has really a tough time with those ghosts around. This is really not easy for him. Those EMPs are always spot on, and here comes the next engagement. He's trying to move in. So many zealots are already dead and gone as the Vikings give chase to the Colossi. We have 5 bases for Seed right now, and another nuke that has, of course, already been spotted.
Yeah, you can see that.
This ghost is actually nuking himself.
He had to sacrifice
for Reina, for Jimmy.
Jimmy appreciates it. Oh! He gets away!
Oh, wow.
8 hit points on that ghost.
That's
wow.
the Chernobyl ghost right there.
Yeah, man, that ghost. I hope he doesn't have any children.
Well, he won't have any.
I don't think so, man. I don't think ghosts are interested in family life. But
it's really hard. You know, you have to spend so much time abroad, and you barely get to see your family. It's really tough.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, man. The kids, you know, they always know their father as a killer. He's dropping nuclear bombs on people. You don't want your
get picked
children to
on
grow
in
up
school
like that.
as well. That's really Top left has been killed by Jockey though, and at the bottom this little bit of a harass that we've just seen by Arkan and Stalk has been shut down already. But look at the amount that the legend just highlights of SCVs that have been killed over the course of the game.
That's becoming the problem more and more
Those storm
here.
traps, Olya, now the Arkan, and actually this one Stalker that we've seen. And this is definitely picking away at the economy of Jockey, who's now down to 41 harvests.
Yeah, just look at the bank, 27,700 versus just 200 minerals in the bank.
The entire game, Seed was just able to have the much better bank and therefore remax his army.
Even when he lost his Nexus earlier on and he was stuck on 3 bases, he had the bank to continue to produce units and get the Nexus back up. Now he's got that 5th base to the top left as well. And if Joshi doesn't react and doesn't see this, the economy just will continue to be better. He drops 2 Templar down at that pylon at the bottom right. He's going to send them in for another storm drop. This is going to eliminate more and more mining for Jockey. It looks like he realizes what's going on and he puts up a sensor tower even.
When this game started between Jockey and Seed, we were hoping for an epic match, and those two, they definitely delivered. We are 30 minutes into the game already, and this game is getting better and better. +2 shields now being researched for LGIMC, who is currently 3,000 minerals and also a lot of gas, just getting a few additional units, and even a Dark Shrine.
Using those Templar really positionally, Jockey went back to deal with those, and now he comes into the natural again.
He's always poking. He is always trying to get in here and trying to go up the ramp, but Jockey, he's ready and he's defending. But at this point, Seed has built all these additional bases. Is once again getting one to the top left.
He's killing the factory over there so he can get the base. 5 cans going up at that top left base just to be safe. He plays so positionally in this matchup.
And again, an Arkan, the Storm and then the Arkan at the bottom right at the 3rd base. This is just so awesome. The Harvester count is now down to 40 for Jockey against 67 for Seed.
He's got 7 Templar out on the map. He just continues to use those Storms. He's going to start to lose a few of these though. The Colossi getting some good hits, but the Vikings are ready.
You know, this bank is so scary for Jockey now, because he knows that Seed, as soon as the fight started, can just warp in another set of units immediately. Look at all those gateways that he already built. He has 16 of them.
Yeah, 16.
You're just looking it up right now. 16 gateways.
16, man. That means he can make actually 2 rounds of 16 Zealots, for example, if he wants to. He's got enough gas to make a lot more than that. Unfortunately, that ghost a little bit too close to the cannon did get taken out before the nuke could be launched. But Jockey looks like he wants to actually commit to this attack. He's going to have to make a choice here because the Protoss army is actually going for his base. So we may have a base swap here.
If we have a base swap, then Seed finds himself in a much better position. And now suddenly half of the army of the Jockey is actually retreating. He's losing a little bit of time here.
Yeah, he's hesitating a lot.
Yeah, he already lost the 4th, and now his 3rd is doomed. He's trying to save it. He's trying to head back, but the Stalkers, they try to focus it down.
And Keller, in this matchup, what's the best unit to have in a base raid? It's High Templar. He's going to be able to storm this army so many times and wear it down while he continues the attack. Jockey says, I know that. I'm going home. I've got to stop him here. But it may be too late because now Seed can actually get the better concave at the top of this ramp. Defensively, he can set up Templar. He decides not to do it. He actually does not expect this. He's going to go all the way into the main base.
Jockey needs a decisive win here, and he needs it now. If he only trades, then Seed is just swapping additional units. 2 Colossi already gone, and here comes now Jockey. But the funnel position, the choke point, is controlled by Seed, who's now in the main base of his opponent. And Jockey has to walk block up the ramp. There are force fields, and even if he's able to break through, there will be storms.
Yeah, there was going to be so many storms. The concave better at the top of the ramp here. Joshi with no bank, no production. He's got 8 barracks floating out of the main. That's all he's got here. He's got nothing on the production tab. He's got no income, literally zero, none.
And while Jakji can't produce anything, Seed is getting 2 additional Colossi back at home. He's even building another base. 130 supply, heavily supply
15 Zealots warping in at once.
He certainly can afford it.
This is basically checkmate. Jakji has to make the choice to go and attack now. With all the cannons and Templar back at home, he can buy so much time, so he can actually return home if he wants to.
The army supply is it's actually dead even. It's actually dead even. 130 for both of them.
But compositionally here, he's just got so many defensive storms he can use. And here comes the first that actually misses. But the second one is much better. He forces the units to hesitate a little bit. Takes out the rest of the Vikings. That makes the Colossi he's got building a lot stronger here.
He already has 2 and he's getting another one. And the Templars, yes, sometimes they get sniped. They get EMP'd, but right now, Seed is just, look at this, 70 supply ahead, still mining.
Yeah, and he's just got so much production. Make another Archon here, hits another storm on these ghosts. It's starting to break up against this many cannons when there are storms to support. Seed actually leaving his army a little bit useless down the bottom. Now starts to send it home. And Joshi tries to break through here, but he just doesn't quite have enough.
And as soon as those Colossi join the battle, he will find himself in a very, very bad spot. Now the Colossus, the first one, starts to attack a little bit. He needs to retreat though,
Yeah.
He's losing it immediately.
He actually is giving Joshi exactly what he wants here. He wants to fight little bits of the army one by one.
He needs to use the High Ground to his advantage, but he does it too late.
Joshi's actually getting a lot of ground here. He's got so many ghosts, which are great units to have. The medevac count right now at 9 as well. It's going to be so useful in a situation where neither player can make units.
And the medivacs still have a lot of energy, something that is really important here. If they run out of energy, that's going to be a problem. But Seed still has a lot of mining going on.
He does have a lot of mining. He's got a lot of production still as well. But Joshi's army is still scary, and Seed has to figure out exactly how to approach this because now Joshi's got a better concave at the top here with EMPs.
Here comes the army for Seed.
I don't think Seed should fight like this, but he's going to try to get the flank. It looks like he may just have too much. The EMPs are good.
Yeah,
the Colossus,
exactly, moving in.
No
another set of Zealots as well. 40 supply, 30 for Jakji, and LGIM Seed. He's done it. GG. Seed takes another victory for his team.
What a crazy game, man. Joshi had advantages so many times, but his economy was so worn down over and over again. He couldn't deal with those Templar harasses, the Zealot run-bys, the Archon attacks. At the end of the game there, Joshi actually was getting a lot of ground. I feel Seed was a little bit careless. There was a moment where I thought maybe he was going to lose, but Joshi, at the end, he didn't have enough units. They were so low on hit points. The Colossi, once all of his Viking side, he couldn't deal with those.
You know, if I was actually a Terran player for Hosa, I would try to hide now. I would not want to face this player.
Yeah.
Can he be beaten by Terran?
I don't think so, man. It's starting to look like the answer is no.
And neither one of them looks happy. I mean, Seal looking at the screen, looking at the LGIM bench, and he's like, I don't want to face him. I don't want to play this guy.
And things are now looking pretty even.
Yeah.
Can Hosa pull out somebody else? Because they already basically had their president assassinated. Now they got to get themselves together. Will we see Seal here? I think that would be a good choice. Tassadar, can he snipe him in PvP? I think that's also a good choice as well. But does Tassadar really have any staying power after that? What if they just pull an ST out and kill him?
Well, there are 2 players left for both teams at this point in time. We have 3 potential matches left. We have actually Ohana, Grand Lagoon, and Muspelheim, the last maps that we are going to see today if we go the full distance. And we are already in the lobby, and Ohana is going to be our next map.
We'll see if this game is family-friendly or not. I don't know who's playing next. Honestly, what are they going to do? Who are they going to pick? I feel it's going to either be Seed or Tassadar, but to be honest, there's not that many choices left. It's probably going to be Seed or Tassadar. There's only a few players it could be.
If there is actually another Terran player facing Seed, then, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that there are no children watching, because that's going to be brutal.
It's going to be pretty disgusting, I think.
Seed just can't be beaten by Terran, apparently.
He knows how to build the bank and then use it better than most players, I think, in the world. He knows where to put the Templar, how to control those fights. You know, he never fights a fight he can't win. He actually ran away from Joshi so many times. and was able to use force fields and storms to escape.
There were so many amazing EMPs when his shields were down, when he didn't have any energy at all, that I really thought that Jakji might have an opportunity to take him down. But Seed every single time retreated, had a few Templars in the back that were still able to save the army with a few well-placed storms, and just showed Jakji that he can't progress, that he can't dart in and take down this army. So it was really well executed by Seed. And who do you pick against this guy? I mean, we'll find out right now who is the next player for NSHorsa. And it is going to be... Oh, there we go. Starting to top left. It's really gonna be Skull.
I can't believe it, man.
Me neither.
I was actually speechless when I saw him get up. I'm like, Skull is a great player, but against Seed, I would never want to pick a Terran. This is kind of, I think, the choice that's been made in one way. Like, okay, so we do not want to use a Terran against this guy, but if we pull a sniper out, then can we beat the next player by him? Probably not, but Sculp is a good all-around player. So we're taking a slight risk here, but I want to take him out with Sculp on the two-player map. I think we're going to see some sort of siege tank play, some sort of one base or two base siege tank aggression with Banshees. I don't think Sculp was going to play for the late game against Seed. How could he want to after seeing what this guy has done to so many Terrans?
As I said earlier, if I was Sculp, I would actually be shaking right now. I would be so afraid of this matchup. I mean, we are hyping Seed up quite a little bit here, but this guy is the champion for a reason. He did so well in WCS because he is a great player, and against Terran, as mentioned earlier, he didn't lose in months in a big league. And the matchup for Sculp, I mean, the last game that we've seen him play was actually in the last GSTL season when he was used against Ace, and he lost against another Protoss player. So is he really able to best Seed here in just a Protoss player who is apparently invincible in this matchup?
Calder, I'm just finding myself a little bit speechless here. I'm not sure how Sculp is going to do it. I think he can. You know, if NSHorsa's coach, who by the way is one of the smartest people I have ever seen pick players in StarCraft, has said, Sculp, I want you to come out here, then I think he can do it. And he has not even played a game on Ohana yet. There's nothing to study.
On Ohana, you have a lot of possibilities, but before we go into the TVP match on this map itself, we are, of course, now about to start the game. Both players seem to be ready in the lobby. We have another Terran versus Protoss. Is the GSL champion LGIM Seed, and he is up against Sculp this time. Jakji was not able to take him down. Will the NSHorsa teammate of Jakji be able to pull it off here? This is the GSTL Season 3, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Colin Wolf.
3, 2, 1, go! Feed my motor!